Ladies and gentlemen, as described on this YouTube channel 2 days ago, we mentioned specifically that altcoins were looking weaker than usual at this part of the cycle, and that if Bitcoin corrected, which we mentioned was likely at that point in time, given it was in an ascending wedge formation, we would see altcoins get destroyed in relation to Bitcoin. That is exactly what we've seen so far. But now that the markets are in a correction, what is likely to happen next? Why has Bitcoin stopped here? Is this the bottom? And much, much more we'll look into today, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get into it, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll keep it short and sweet. There's no point dragging it out. I'll just give you what you need to know about Bitcoin and what you need to know about altcoins right now. Check out the Bitfinex and Blowfin exchanges, either or. Bitfinex and Blowfin are both available globally. They are both global non-KYC, so you can sign up from anywhere in the world. I reached out to them for partnership. They did not reach out to me, okay? So they didn't pay me any money to advertise this at all. All I get is a referral link, and that referral link is down below. If you use that link, you will get a 15% trading fee discount for life attached to your account and access to $5,500 in rewards on Bitfinex. Blowfin's an alternative option. Use that link down below. Help me out and help yourself out by getting on a good exchange. Let's get into the content. Right, so why did Bitcoin correct? Well, quite simply, and as we've been mentioning for a long period of time now, Bitcoin was in an ascending wedge formation, which you can see in yellow, which is a pattern of exhaustion, a pattern you generally see at the top of moves. You see grinding up in this wedges, representing the buying pressure decreasing over time, and eventually it leads to a collapse. That's what we saw. You can see the volume descending in the upwards trend for the most part, representing a decrease in buying pressure, and upon the breakdown, the volume spiking to the upside, representing an influx of selling pressure. This was a 101 basic wedge breakdown. It was supported by the 4-hourly chart RSI, which had a support line in yellow, which also broke down at the same time of the wedge breaking. So that was a perfectly valid breakdown, but the question becomes, will we go lower? As of right now, Bitcoin is finding quite strong support. You can see it right here on the volume profile on the hourly chart. A big crevice in the volume profile, meaning that the price is being dragged towards that location. But below that point, it will be very difficult for Bitcoin to drop much lower. It could certainly happen. What I will say is this: Bitcoin is in a correction until it manages to get above its recent high, which is this level right here in pink, the 100 and 2,500 level. That is the recent high. That's a level that's acted as support and resistance multiple times over the last couple of weeks. If Bitcoin breaks above that pink level, the correction, in my view, is officially over, and Bitcoin will most likely move further to the upside and break all-time highs once more. Until that occurs, Bitcoin is still in a corrective state. But it does have support here, and it has support on charts you probably have not seen before, which we've been looking at exclusively on this YouTube channel for the last few weeks. In fact, this line here, this diagonal line, we've been looking at for months on end. Not many people are watching this at all. It's the Bitcoin logarithmic chart. I'll make it pink just so you can see it quite precisely. You can see it cuts all the way back from here in February, cutting through support, cutting through resistance on multiple occasions, and being tested right now, marking the exact bottom pretty much of this local correction with the help of the 50 simple moving average. Okay, these lines are not a coincidence. We've been looking at them for weeks. I've been talking about them for weeks. I've been talking literally about how that pink line there is holding up Bitcoin structure, and I stand by that. That pink line there is the difference between a short-term correction, which is what we've seen on Bitcoin so far, and a more extensive medium-term to even long-term correction, which is what could happen if we break it. So all eyes on that line. But perhaps the most interesting thing about this correction is how the altcoin market has reacted. Now, we know for a fact that Bitcoin moves cyclically, and hence making assessments from the prior cycle and extrapolating them forward to the current cycle is a completely rational thing to do, and that's what we've done exactly here. So we've taken the high from 2017, we've moved it right across there, we've made it a horizontal resistance level, and what you can see is in 2021, when we broke that high from 2017, that was our first parabolic move of the bull run. That's exactly what we're doing right now, and the reason we can compare these two periods of price action is because we know that it's not only Bitcoin isolated, the fractal here, it's also going through to something like Bitcoin dominance. So what we see is that on that first parabolic move of the bull market in 2020, Bitcoin dominance begun to drop. Okay, so altcoin season begun on that first parabolic move. That's exactly what we've seen this time. Bitcoin dominance starting to drop on that first parabolic move. We know, of course, that parabolic move will end in correction, a healthy correction, a correction that will be broken back to the upside after the correction is over. But it ended in a 32% correction here on Bitcoin back in January 2021, and right now we are correcting on Bitcoin again. Of course, the only difference is this time the altcoin market is not showing resilience. So back here in 2021, you can see Bitcoin dominance dropping at the time of Bitcoin correction, and this time Bitcoin dominance is rising at the time of the Bitcoin correction, suggesting the altcoin market is not as strong as it was in 2021. We can further support this theory by overlaying the Ethereum chart on top of Bitcoin here. And what you can see is that in 2021, when Bitcoin went downwards, Ethereum continued blasting to the upside. However, this time, Bitcoin going downwards has led to Ethereum dropping. Now, we discussed this in full 2 days ago in our recent video, and basically we nailed it down to this. The reason why altcoins are not holding up well on this Bitcoin correction, even though they did in 2021, is because the altcoin market has failed to break major resistance levels that in 2021 it had already broken. If you look at 2021, when Bitcoin saw that correction, Ethereum was already above its prior all-time high. This time it simply is not. In fact, it's at strong resistance stemming backwards from March 2024, okay? It recently double topped from that resistance level. So Ethereum was not where it was in the last cycle, and hence expecting it to act the same way it would have in the last cycle is illogical, which is what we nailed down basically 2 days ago before this massive correction began. We turned out to be correct. The exact same thing can be said about the total 3 cryptocurrency market cap chart, which is the altcoin market cap chart. In the period of 2021, when Bitcoin saw a correction, it was blasting through new all-time highs, but this time it found resistance on a weekly candle on the prior 2021 all-time high. So the altcoin market was not in an open plane, it was not running up, it was actually at resistance when Bitcoin started correcting, and this led to a more aggressive correction in altcoins. Now the question becomes, are we still in an altcoin season, or has this delayed the altcoin season? In my view, we are still in an altcoin season because Bitcoin dominance has not had a sustained break above its all-time high or its recent high. So just by definition, we're not in an upwards trend on Bitcoin dominance. This is still a lower high. And we also have not broken back above properly the breakdown levels that triggered the altcoin season, which you can see in yellow here on the price chart and in yellow here on the RSI. So technically speaking, we are still in an altcoin season, but it's definitely not a powerful one like it was in 2020 or 2021 just yet. We are still in the early phases of that altcoin season, and we'll be tracking Bitcoin dominance closely over the next few days. If the Bitcoin correction continues, we could actually see a delay to the altcoin season here. Let's hope that doesn't happen, because that would throw off the cycle to some extent. But to me personally, I look at the altcoin market right now. I look at Ethereum, and I see that Ethereum is coming down towards major support here, the bull market support band on top of the POC on the volume profile, the most major point of support on the chart right here. Below that, I see, let's delete these lines so you can see it as well, macro support in green, okay, between 2,800 and 2,700. That would be the lowest place I'd like to see Ethereum go. Below that, I think we enter a very bearish phase for the altcoin market and probably for cryptocurrency in general. I don't really see why we'd need to go that low, especially not below it, okay? So right now, and then we flick through to something else, we can look at the total cryptocurrency market cap chart and see that it's actually doing a resistance support flip on top of 3 trillion, which is the prior all-time high from 2021. So the altcoin market, although it has been decimated in comparison to Bitcoin on this recent correction, is not necessarily destroyed. We are not out of an altcoin season. We're still technically in an altcoin season by definition, just in the fact that Bitcoin dominance is still in a downwards trend. And at this point in time, I do see a little bit of strength and support in the altcoin market. So it's not looking terrible anymore. It's definitely something worth keeping an eye on though. And the fact that it's behaving slightly differently to the prior cycle is a point of concern. We'll be watching this closely and updating you if anything else happens. But to conclude, Bitcoin has seen the start of its correction. Hopefully that's the end of the correction as well. There is a chance that it is. And the reason is because we have major support coming through for something like this pink diagonal line, major support coming through from the 50 SMA, both of which being tested perfectly. However, for me to be fully confident that this correction would be over, I would want to see 102,500 breaking to the upside, as that is the recent high, and a major level of short-term or local resistance. Okay, so 102,500. I don't know why it's so difficult for me to say that number. Needs to break, in my view, for this correction to be confirmed over. Until then, we are still in the correction, but I think the most volatile part might be done here. Obviously, if we see a renewed breakdown, we'll reassess that. And as for the altcoin market, Slightly weaker than it was in the last cycle, unfortunately. Hope that resolves soon. Right now, it's looking like the worst could be over for altcoins. But again, if we can continue downwards on Bitcoin, that could change as well. So right now, we're just still in that uncertain phase. We haven't really seen the upwards confirmation yet, but it seems like the initial blast of a downside is complete. So hopefully altcoins, specifically altcoins, can get a bit of strength here and stop getting wrecked. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please check out the exchanges again, Bit2Nix and Blowfin, both are global non-KYC. You can sign up from anywhere in the world, 15% trading fee discount and $5,500 in rewards available on Bit2Nix. Blowfin's an alternative option. My links are down below. And I'll mention as well my VIP group on Telegram. If you want access to altcoin trading signals, you can get 4 of them per week there on Telegram, as well as access to a group chat with 135 other VIP members where we post content 24/7, just in discussion format. You can post anything you want in there. So pretty useful community to be part of. And also we've got our trading results, historically speaking, all of them, all the wins, all the losses, so you can see before you sign up. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you soon.